Hello again, and welcome back to Granny Dorothy Visits. Today's topic is the secret to using your mental magic wand. Two readings today. The first one, just a short one from Wayne Dyer's Everyday Wisdom. It said, "You create your thoughts create your intentions, and your intentions create your reality." And the next one is from Inside the Body of God, Karen Curry Parker. "Your mind is a powerful magic wand. The lightning bolt that you shoot from your wand is energized by your thoughts. Thought energy holds a vibration and aligns you with the reality that you want to experience. Learning to use a magic wand takes practice. Being deliberate with your thoughts also takes practice. As you have already learned, your physical body and nervous system are designed to make repetitive thought processes rote and mindless. You have thought patterns happening in your head all the time. Many of them are simply well-worn neural pathways that you have developed over time as a result of your conditioning and experiences in life. For example, if you were raised in a family who believed that you have to either be born rich or lucky to have money, and you had experiences that made this belief seem true to you over time, you probably have a consistent, unconscious thought pattern that gets triggered every time you see a lucky, wealthy person who happens to be born into the right family. Of course, according to the energy that your mind is radiating, you are aligning with a reality filled with lucky, wealthy people who are born rich, and you, being unlucky and born into just enough, keep having unlucky, just enough kinds of experiences. These are no exceptions. There are no exceptions. You do not create by accident. Everything in your life is there because you aligned it with a vibrational. Everything. This can feel like bad news, but it's actually very empowering news. If you aligned with the reality you currently perceive, then you can align with a different reality and change your life's circumstances. You are absolutely free to align with any kind of experience you desire. It is, after all, unlimited. An unlimited universe with an infinite number of potential realities. Sorry, I'm really messing up today, aren't I? I'm not starting again, though, sorry. In order to truly understand the power of your thinking, it is vital that you understand more deeply how your brain operates. Your brain and nervous system have a very important role. Your brain translates your personal divine blueprint into a human experience. It's based on the brain's hemisphere I just reviewed in the previous chapter. For your divine blueprint, you need to understand that divine inspiration and information is received non-verbally in the right hemisphere. Then the left hemisphere translates these images and impulses into language and actions. As a society, we have a collective tendency to focus primarily on the left hemisphere, which creates a society that is very linear, patterned, and logical. For centuries, we have lived in a world that strengthens and nourishes our left hemisphere. The way we were taught in school, the way we work, and the way we are trained to use information is rooted in the left hemisphere. However, when we use our left brain exclusively, we are left considering ideas in a very dense, lacking in emotion, and somewhat uninspired manner. Without a balance, there is no real guided action, just random action that is not guided by divine inspiration. We need to give energy to the right hemisphere that receives divine inspiration. Right side thinking is rooted in intuition, gut feelings, expansive, holistic awareness, and emotions. Again, we must be careful when not balanced and leaning too far toward our right brain. When we are right brain dominant, we are not grounded in our creations. Our actions lack focus and direction. Right brain dominance without a left brain translation makes getting things done on earth very difficult. Both hemispheres are vital. We live in an era when balanced use of both halves of the brain is crucial for divine power and creation. There are two kinds of thoughts, divine thought and human thinking. Divine thought is unlimited, that doesn't worry about how things are going to happen. When divine thoughts happen, it is fast and quick and inspirational. As humans, we sometimes interpret divine thoughts as a flash or aha moments. When you receive divine thoughts, your emotions will align with the divine thought. Divine thoughts feel good and exciting. The prospect of fulfillment of the divine thought into action is enlivening and joyful. It is also considered the blueprint inspiration that lets you know that you are on the right path to fulfilling your soul's intention. Divine thought feels like desire. The desires you have are the whisperings of God in your heart. The desires you have that excite you and feel good are merely the compass of your soul, letting you know that this is the direction your expanded self wants you to go in. These desires are simply the expansion of God growing through you, and they are part of your experience as a human. Without desires, no growth happens, both on a personal and divine level. Of course, desire is always happening. The translation of desire into action in the left hemisphere is where we can stumble a bit in our human experience and leads to the second kind of thought, human thinking. It is much smaller by nature and is only seemingly smaller or more limited because of our collective experiences here on earth. We project thoughts over time that clearly define what is possible in our bodies and our life experiences that make us sometimes scoff at our own divine inspirations. For example, in an unlimited universe, it is conceivable that we could manifest an apple out of pure air into the palm of our hands. Our logical left brain tells us that creating an apple out of thin air is impossible, and wouldn't we be far better served to simply go to the grocery store to buy an apple? Or, in an unlimited universe, it is quite possible that you could align with the vibration of $1 million and manifest that magnificent sum of money overnight. Your logical left hemisphere struggles to translate the possibility of that happening based on your experiences and beliefs. Know this: if you can't believe it, it won't happen. God within us inspires us, but our human thinking limits the limitless possibilities. This key point is the source of a huge spiritual disconnect that happens on the earthly plane and keeps us from collectively living heaven on earth. If we can't imagine how something is going to happen, we discount it or even push the experience away by focusing the power of our thoughts on the impossibility of the inspiration coming into form. The sense of impossibility is the cause of so much of our perceived human suffering and spiritual confusion. We are born with a deep understanding of unlimited possibility. Think about a 4-year-old writing a Christmas list for Santa Claus. The list goes on and on. I want a pony, a truck that shoots fire, real spider webs that can shoot out of my fingers like Spider-Man, a kitten, 3 hamsters, enough candy for a whole year that I can share with all my friends. As children, we believe that anything is possible until we are told over and over by our conditioning field that we have to be realistic. We are cautioned to not be greedy or selfish by asking for too much, for things that cost money or items that are impossible to have. This isn't intended to be a criticism against our parents, loved ones, and teachers. They did not intentionally cut us off from our divinity. They were simply living out their own conditioning and serving to perpetuate the delusion of a separate God in conjunction with a limited world. We all play a role in continuing this myth. You, however, incarnated at this very important time on earth to shatter this myth. You chose to be here because it is now time on earth to fully proclaim our divine birthright and live out the nature of God in its full, limitless form in the 3rd dimension. This is a tremendously exciting time to be alive, and you have a key role in waking up the planet. For your highest good and the highest good of all those who are impacted by your desires, remember, you living out the fullest expression of the magnificent self you were created to be is the greatest service that you can give to God. In order to set ourselves free from the limits imposed on our own divinity by our human thinking, we have to rewire our brains and remove the collectively imposed shackles that we have placed on our understanding and acceptance of unlimited possibilities. Sounds like a big task, but it can be easily done by being disciplined and consistent with your thoughts. With a little time and practice, you can reclaim your divine power and align yourself with whatever reality you choose to experience. No limits. If we are indeed created in the likeness of God, and the God mind is unlimited, then we can also experience unlimited thinking, and all possible realities become potential realities for us. Everything is possible if you think it is. You are not given a desire or inspiration that you are not intended to experience. The inspiration you experience is the compass of your soul. If it excites you and delights you, then it is in alignment with your natural abundant state. You simply need to learn how to turn the inspiration into real experience. Your mental magic wand translates inspiration into a creative vibration through focused intention. We call this the law of focused success. Where you put your energy and attention is where you get results. The object of your consistent focus over time becomes the reality you will experience. This is the secret to effectively using your mental magic wand. Wow, I know that's a lot. I mean, it's and I did the other one about the mental magic wand a while ago too, and it's a different way of thinking for us because we have been aligned in our human way of thinking for all this time. But why not keep an open mind? Why not try it? It makes me think, I don't know if I can compare it to this, but it reminds me of, I'm a Trekkie, and I remember watching Star Trek a long time ago, and they had this one where they landed on a planet. And at first, everybody was having all these experiences, and they're running from animals, and they're having different, things going on, and they're all upset. And then Captain Kirk, he figured it out, and he said, everything on this particular planet, whatever you think, is happening. And so he was telling all of the people that were on the ship, okay, you have to think about things that you want to happen, because everything that you think about is happening right now in real time. I don't know, do any of you remember that one? I sure remember it because I thought that was really interesting. And this kind of ties into that too. I mean, our thoughts are really, really important. And that magic wand, I don't have it with me right now, but I mean, let's be careful with our thoughts. Let's focus on what we really, really want. Write it down and say it over and over and over again, and let's bring it into our reality. That would be awesome. So I want for you to have a fabulous life. Enjoy your life, okay? Send you my love. Till next week. Bye for now.